You ate bread this morning or someone near you did. You didn't think about it. Nobody does. It's bread. It's just there. But somebody right now is thinking about that bread very carefully. It's not the baker. Neither is it the government. It's a family most Ghanaians couldn't pronounce if you asked them. And you know what? They control nearly 60% of flour in this country. Every loaf, every meat pie, every sugary donut sold from a roadside stall in Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, there's a very good chance their flour went into it. That's one family, but there are 4 others, alright? One owns the most prestigious land in the country. Another built radio stations that speak to Ghanaians in their own languages. One worked a gold mine from Obuasi onto the New York Stock Exchange. And one had his entire business wiped out by government law. And ironically, he turned that same law into the foundation of an empire. 5 families, between them food, media, gold, land, and finance. Politicians come and go, but these families stay. Now, go-getters, we are going to start with the ones people forget because forgetting them is actually the point. The Awuah-Darko family, insurance, finance, around $650 million. In 1969, the patriarch Nana Awuah-Darko Ampem was running a successful insurance brokerage. Solid business, good clients. Then 1972 happened. The government passed a new rule. State institutions could no longer work with private brokers. They had to go directly to the state insurer. One law, his biggest clients, gone. Normally, most people would back up at that point. He didn't. He rather looked at that law and asked the question nobody around him was asking. If the state wants to cut out brokers, what does that mean for someone willing to become the insurer instead? 2 years later, he started Vanguard Assurance, Ghana's first fully indigenous private insurance company. We can clearly see that the same law that tried to finish him handed him the blueprint. He read that moment better than anyone else in the room. But money alone isn't what keeps this family on the list. Now, one thing you should know is that they have a direct connection to Ashanti traditional leadership. The Ashanti Hene has a relationship with this family. There are photos, there are visits, and that matters in Ghana in ways that don't show up on any balance sheet. Now, the thing is, you can compete with wealth, but you can't easily compete with the kind of trust that's been building inside a royal network for generations. That thread, finding the audacity nobody else bothered with, runs straight from the Awuah-Darkos to the next man on the list. Osei Kwame Despite, somewhere between 800 million and $1 billion. Now, if you remember back in the days, we had cassettes, right? So he started selling cassettes, carrying them town to town in Tonkwa Ofinso. And in the early 80s, he moved to Nigeria looking for bigger opportunities. Then, 1983, Nigeria expelled over 1 million Ghanaians. Mass deportation. He came home with almost nothing. He picked up cassettes again. And this time, while he was selling music, he noticed something that should have been obvious to everyone, but wasn't. Every major radio station in Ghana was broadcasting in English. In a country where the majority of people spoke Akan, Twi, Ga, their languages not on the air. That gap was his entire fortune. So in 1999, he launched Peace FM at Mile 7 Junction, almost entirely in Akan. The response was immediate. People turned in and felt seen. Ratings jumped fast. He then expanded to OK FM, Neat FM, Hello FM, UTV. Then he moved into food, Neat Fufu, Neat Banku, packaged Ghanaian staples, real estate, properties across Ghana, Dubai, the UK, and the US. This man never stopped building. The media empire and the food business worked together. The radio stations build cultural connection. The food brand rides that trust. It's a loop that fits itself every day. And let me tell you something, go-getters. When you control what millions of people hear every morning, which stories get told, which voices get amplified, which politicians get a platform, you are shaping how a country sees itself. Osei Kwame Despite has been doing that quietly for 25 years. Now the story goes global. Let's look at Samuel Sam Jonah, Sir Sam Jonah. Net worth somewhere around $1.2 to $1.3 billion. Though he's gone on television and said those numbers are exaggerated, which is a striking thing for a man of his stature to say it out loud, people don't really believe it. Now, brief biography: he was born in a military camp in Kibi in 1949. His family moved to Obuasi. Now, when his friends finished school and became doctors and lawyers, he went underground into the mines. Ashanti Goldfields, 1969, a trainee, 20 years climbing from underground. By 1986, age 36, he is CEO. At that stage, Ashanti Goldfields was a state operation producing around 240,000 ounces of gold a year. And by the time he was done, they were producing around 1.6 million ounces. But a move that put his name in African business history was the fact that he worked a Ghanaian gold mine onto Wall Street, the first African operating company to ever trade on the New York stock. An African company sitting at the table where the biggest money in the world moves. Now, in 2004, he merged Ashanti Goldfields with Anglo Gold of South Africa, a $1.4 billion deal, named Anglo Gold Ashanti, second largest gold producer on earth at the time. And after that, Jonah Capital in Johannesburg. 14 mineral resource assert, 10 African countries. The man who started underground now runs capital across the entire continent. Now back to the bread. Two Lebanese brothers, Anthony and Edmond Irani, arrived in Ghana in the 1960s. Lebanese families were spread across West Africa at the time, moving from trade into manufacturing. What the Iranis brought that the others didn't was access to trade finance networks, the kind that let them fund a full shipload of wheat at once. Not a small order, a full cargo ship. When you buy at that scale, your cost per ton drops so fast, far below small competitors that they simply can't match your price. That advantage was locked in before the first bag of star flour ever left the factory in 1967. Now, we are talking of 60% of the market. 3 Swiss-made mills, 180,000 metric tons every year. When global wheat prices spike, conflict, bad harvest, supply disruption, bread prices in Ghana feel it fast. And we know bread price spike don't stay economic. They get political. Ministers start making calls. And those calls go to whoever controls the mills. Nobody talks about that publicly. But when you supply 60% of what a country eats for breakfast, the government has to keep a relationship with you. No announcements needed. It's just a fact. Now, here's the thing about the Irani story that nobody actually spells out. They didn't just start with $1 billion, right? They started with a simple common question. What does every household in this country need every single day without fail? Flour. The answer was flour. And right now, a group of people watching this channel are asking the same question about a different product. Diapers. Think about it for a second. Every baby born in Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, across the continent, they go through diapers from day one. Parents don't stop buying diapers because the economy slows down. They don't wait until next month. It's not discretionary. We can agree that a family could cut out on lots of things, but diapers would never be one of them. And for obvious reasons, a baby can't stay without a diaper. That's the same logic the Iranis used with flour. Essential products, inelastic demand. So whoever controls the supply has leverage that doesn't expire. Africa Today, this channel has been building exactly that. A diaper brand started with a group of viewers here on the channel, my dear goal-getters, who understood what they were looking at. People who watched these stories and decided they didn't just want to learn how wealth gets built. They wanted to be part of building it. The brand is already moving, but the ownership circle is still open and it won't stay long. For the spots are being seized by the day. Now, if you are one of those people who've been watching this channel for a while, you already know how these things work. The families we've covered today didn't wait for the perfect moment. They moved when the window was there. The people already in the diaper brand, that is the Goal-Getter diaper brand, moved the same way. Now, if you want to know more and be part of this amazing project, please do well to email us at africatodayinfo@gmail.com. And please keep it simple, for we receive lots of email. Just indicate you are interested in the diaper project. Then our assistant will probably reach out to you with every necessary information you need in order to make a decision. Now, I want you to know that spots are limited, not as a sale line, just a fact. It might interest you to know that we are about closing the circle of founding members, which is something you don't want to miss if you are versed with the investment world. Some of you would watch this 6 months back and wish you had sent the email. You, my goal-getters, I don't want you to miss out on. That's why I am reminding you to do the needful, right? We all started this together, and I won't be happy to have people from all over the world being the ones investing while my own goal-getters aren't part of it, right? Now back to the families, because we haven't gotten to number one yet. So now obviously we get to our number one. Imagine you are driving through Accra. You pass a gate. The road changes, smooth, manicured trees, villas with private pools, a golf course. You look around and think, is this still in Ghana? It is. Every square meter of it belongs to one family. Ernesto Taricone, $1.3 billion. He came here from a small mountain town in Italy at 20 years old. He arrived in 1968 with his father and his two brothers from a place called Trasacco in the Abruzzo region. Ghana has just been through the overthrow of Nkrumah, and the country was finding its footing. So he started selling agricultural machinery, importing equipment, selling it on. Nothing dramatic on the surface, but he was watching. What he saw was a country growing fast, with almost no organized real estate sector, no luxury housing, no planned residential communities, no address in Accra that carried weight. He held on to that observation for 30 years. This was not a short journey or a casual decision. So in 1998, he developed a plot of land that had belonged to his late father and named it Trasacco Valley. Then Ghana found offshore oil in 2007, and suddenly there was a new wave of foreign executives, oil workers, diplomats, all needing somewhere to live, somewhere that felt worth the money. Now Trasacco was already built and waiting. He didn't scramble when the oil boom came because he was already in position. That's the right example of what we commonly say when opportunity meets preparedness, right? Now, here's what a lot of people miss about the Taricone business. The Trasacco Group owns Quarrying Operations, a pre-stressed concrete factory, and the first of its kind in West Africa, a factory producing aluminium doors and windows. When Trasacco builds, most of what goes into that building come from other companies they also own. So this is actually a complete value chain. Remember, we've talked a lot about value chain in our business videos, right? If you are new to the channel and you came because of geopolitics, it might interest you to know that we've got lots and lots of videos on business and investments in Africa. So what you could do to catch up is to simply go to our playlist and watch the videos titled Business Investments in Africa and all the like. Now, this simply means that the margin that would normally go to the suppliers stays inside their system instead. So while every other developer in Ghana was paying out to external suppliers for materials, Trasacco was capturing those margins too, year after year, project after project. Money going in, nothing coming out. 52,000 acres of farmland. Another 150,000 acres under Empire Builders Ghana, a private airline flying oil, executives around the region, 3,500 employees. His children, Ernest Jr., Cynthia, and Agatha, are all already inside the business. The Taricone family isn't planning an exit, for they are part of the permanent structure of this country. 5 families, flour, media, gold, insurance. None of them ran for office. None of them needed to. All of them simply found something people couldn't stop needing and made themselves the serious, durable option in that space. They moved early, stayed quiet, and played a long game. The Iranis have been milling flour since 1967. Ernesto Taricone arrived in 1968. Sam Jonah went underground in 1969. We can all see that these aren't just companies. They are actually institutions that outlast the government. Ghana isn't unusual in this. Every country has these families. The names change, the sectors change, but the logic is always the same. So if you would love me to cover this in other countries, let me know and I will do just that. Now, the next time someone asks who really runs a country, don't start with politicians. Start with who controls breakfast, who owns the land, whose voices fill the air. That's the real map, and now you have it. Drop a comment and let me know which family surprised you the most. And like I said, if you want me to do this for other countries like Nigeria and all the like, let me know below, for the series is just getting started. That's it. Thanks for watching this video and hope to see you on my next one.